Sometimes full-size trucks don't work, and that's why mid-size trucks have become so popular. You can use them all the time, and they're a blast to drive off-road. This is the 2021 GMC Canyon AT4. Now, there are some upgrades for 2021. All right, they're not like, oh my gosh, mind-blowing, but there's some really nice upgrades that might just meet your needs, and we're gonna take it for a drive. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. The mid-size truck market has become competitive, and for the longest time, the Toyota Tacoma has taken the lead. Then you've got the Nissan Frontier. Ford comes on with the Ranger, but that was after General Motors came out with the Colorado and the GMC Canyon. This is the 2021 GMC Canyon AT4. Now, there are different engines. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the improvements, both inside and out, and how capable this vehicle is. It's actually quite impressive, and it should be looked at if you're thinking about buying a mid-size truck. Let's look under the hood, and then we'll take it for a drive. Under the hood of our test vehicle is a 3.6-liter V6 direct-injected engine that has 308 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque, backed up by an 8-speed automatic transmission. But yes, there is a diesel engine that is available, and it has more towing capacity, and we'll talk about that when we go for a drive. We've been driving this mid-size Canyon AT4 for a week, and we're now in a state park. It's really cool. It's called Fort Clinch, and it's all canopied trees. So we have the opportunity to get a nice visual for you. So it's more than just me talking. First off, the fuel economy has been about 21 miles to the gallon combined, and we're not hauling a trailer. We're just got people and golfing gear, which you can check out in back. What we've been able to do is get a good feel for what this is like, because this is an off-road capable vehicle, but unless you're buying that off-road package, which we'll talk about in handling, that changes everything about this vehicle. I think it is a great on-road vehicle, and we'll talk about the handling too, because the ride is a big part of it. One thing, these tires are loud. They're 31-inch tires. We'll talk about that when we talk about handling. And one of the things we noticed is that in this car, if you're having a conversation with the people, it is a bit loud. Not crazy loud, but you need to think about that. It is a factor to consider if you're using this as your sole vehicle for both work and play. Towing capacity is 7,000 pounds, but if you option for the diesel engine, which is my favorite, you now have 7,700 pounds of towing capacity. And depending upon what you're hauling, what you're doing, that is really the top of the class for this mid-size pickup truck when you're looking at some of the competitors are the Nissan Frontier, the Toyota Tacoma, the Ford Ranger, and there's a lot of others. But as you look in this category, when people start thinking about, I don't want a full-size truck, these are not really half-size. They're more like 3/4 of the size of a regular half-ton truck, but you are getting great towing capacity, and that is something that the Canyon provides. The Canyon is very capable on and off-road, and as far as on the highway, the fuel economy is good. The pickup is excellent. Watch. Little bit of a gap before it excels. And for performance, this Canyon earns an 8. There are 31-inch tires on this vehicle that are on 17-inch rims. This is a pretty aggressive tire, and it looks cool, and it fits in really nice with this AT4 package. But keep in mind, when you go with an aggressive tire like this, that you're gonna have a louder ride, and we talked about that briefly in performance. But as far as handling and being very specific on the road, it is excellent. Good brakes, good handling. There's no sponginess in the brakes or any lazy type of steering, so it's very specific, which makes it a really good off-road vehicle with the right components. I will tell you, without any cargo in the back, it is a bit of a bouncy ride, but once you load it down, like we had clubs and gear and everything, because we had all kinds of stuff in the back, it absorbed all of that weight, and then it no longer was a bouncy suspension. Now, that's pretty much true with any pickup truck. You just need to know that in your head. This AT4, as it sits, is more than capable to drive it on the beach as it sits. Take it on snowy roads, icy roads, up in the mountains. You won't have a problem at all, and anything that a vehicle can drive on. Now, when you're talking about an off-road capabilities, if you're really serious about doing that heavy off-road, you're going to want to opt for that off-road package, which is going to increase the price of the vehicle, although we'll talk about that in value. So you want to stay to the end, some nice curvy roads, very specific handling, and I think that's really important when you're driving a truck. Sometimes they feel big and cumbersome, and this vehicle does not do that. Even at slow speeds, you know that you have control of this vehicle. and we'll take it on some high-speed roads as well. On the Canyon with the four-wheel drive, you're getting the 2-speed transfer case and the auto-locking differential. So this will give you really good off-road capability. When you're looking at the Canyon AT4, handling is really good, very precise, you won't be disappointed, and it earns an 8. Safety on the Canyon includes stability control with traction control, rear park assist, and an HD rear view camera. And they also have a teen driver button, which will allow you to keep your teens in check. There's also some apps that you can download. Additionally, there is the rear seat reminder, which is important. And then you have your collision and detection systems. There is no blind spot detection available on this vehicle, which I'm kind of surprised. A lot of the competitors have it. An additional cost, forward collision alert and lane departure warning are available. They are a bit sensitive, but they work as expected. We'd like to see blind spot monitoring included because that's something a lot of other vehicles have, as well as automatic emergency braking. The teen driver setting allows you to assign keys that customize the restrictions, like not making the radio so loud or driving over a certain speed limit, and that's something you can control. For safety, this vehicle earns a 7. Visibility is 80% of your driving decision, so it's actually a part of safety, which is important. Big piece of front glass and a commanding view of the road because you're up high. Seats will adjust for that as well, and we'll talk about that in seating next. Looking out the side, the sills are a good, reasonable height. You can press your arms on here. And why do you want to place your arm on this sill? A lot of people do, but also those people in the back seat have the ability to see what's going on around them. And if the sill is up too high, it may look cool, but it also limits some of the visibility. When you put the vehicle in reverse, you've got good visibility through an HD camera, and there's also a trailer towing hookup. That's part of it. You just press the button on the front. It'll show you out the back. Now you've got these 2 headrests. They're not too bad in the way. And when you put the vehicle in reverse, not just using the cameras, using the mirrors. I'll talk about this a little more in design. It is kind of limiting depending upon what you're doing with this vehicle on a daily basis. But when you're looking at visibility as a whole, this vehicle earns a 7. When it comes to seating, this is the most important part of any vehicle. You can have great performance, excellent handling, but if you're uncomfortable in this driver's seat, you're going to want to get rid of this vehicle as soon as possible. And that is not the case when it comes to the Canyon. First off, I do like the adjustable height seatbelt. No one wants the seatbelt cutting their neck, and not every vehicle offers that, so make sure to check that out. Now, when looking at the seats themselves, 6-way power on the driver's side, 4-way power on the passenger side. There's 2-way lumbar, just goes in and out. They're kind of comfortable seats, but the leather quality is really, really nice, and that is also an upgrade for 2021. We'll talk about this in features a little bit more detail, but there are 3-stage heated seats on both front seats and a heated steering wheel, which goes kind of hand in hand. Let's take a look at the second row, and we'll give it a rating. Getting into the second row, first off, it's kind of a tight fit compared to some of the competitors. This is what's called the B pillar, and entering this vehicle is a bit challenging compared to some of the competition. It's very important for you to know about that. Now, when you're talking about legroom, this is great. The seats are kind of flat, and the headroom is pretty good. Shoulder room, great for 2 people. Adults, 3 would be kind of on the tight side. Pulling down the armrest, you've got 2 cup holders, which is great. And in front of you, you've got 2 USB connections as well as a regular outlet. This vehicle sits 5, but there's room for 2 child safety seats. Additionally, there is storage underneath the rear seats. When you're looking at seating overall for this vehicle, it earns a 7. When you're looking at technology on this Canyon, one of the things to note is that this is an 8-inch center screen. It's a little small compared to some of the competitors that are on the market. It is color, it is touchscreen, which I do appreciate. It is also a remote keyless entry. One thing this Canyon has that I'm surprised and kind of dated is the key that actually is used to start the vehicle. Kind of interesting these days, considering most people don't use the key, and they have brought it back to everything being on the key fob. Our test vehicle has the Bose audio, part of that $995 entertainment package, which is an 8-inch color touch screen. In addition, you'll have, of course, your phone, your Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM. You've got your navigation system here, also very simple and easy to use. Of course, most people use their phones because it's the way to go. And then you've got your controls here, and then you have your climate controls, which are also below the center screen. Wi-Fi hotspot is standard on most GM vehicles, as you can see, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and then you go into the different settings and you can adjust everything that you want, including a valet mode. Additionally, one of the nice tech features that General Motors offers on all their vehicles is OnStar services. I'm a huge fan. and that is something that I really wish was offered on a lot of different vehicles, but it's been around for a long time, and it's certainly a plus for owning a vehicle like this. You got the My GMC app, which is great when you want to find out some additional information on your vehicle. And again, all this is about technology. There's not a lot of it on this car. And for technology on this car, and remember, compared to other cars in this category, it earns a 6. When you're looking at features, there's a lot on this vehicle. Going to the left of the steering wheel, you will see that you have your normal cruise control, and you can adjust the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. Heated steering wheel is right here. To the right side of the steering wheel, you've got your phone shut off, your ability to ask questions.
What would you like?
See, she's going to help me. And then this button here goes to the center screen. When you're looking at the gauges in front of you, I like the fact they're real gauges. They're not digital, because down the road, if you're looking at this vehicle as a used car, you'll be thrilled to know that you don't have to worry about replacing digital dashes, which who knows what that's going to be down the road. Now, to the right of the steering wheel, I did tell you that there was some adjustments, and here they are. You can press the down arrow to get the different settings. So the first would be your miles per hour, and that has to do with the sign recognition. This is your distance and your average fuel economy. We have been sitting here with the AC on, so don't use that as your average fuel economy, and you can reset that. Going further down, you've got how much fuel left on the tank, your oil life, the tire pressure, which is standard on every car. Every car has TPMS, or tire pressure monitoring service. And then that's your average fuel economy. Of course, again, that's low because we've been sitting. The best is 24.2, and so the combined is 21. Your average speed, timer if you need one for whatever reason where you're going, battery voltage, oil pressure, engine hours, transmission fluid, and a blank page. There's not a lot on this vehicle when it comes to technology. That's why I didn't bother telling you about it when we talked about that. We're looking at features right now. Now let's take a look at the left of the steering wheel. Okay, you got some stitching here. It's nice, some vents, pretty normal. Further down, you have your lights and your ability to go to 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. Below the center screen is your regular buttons that you can use, or you can touch the screen. Below that, you've got your normal climate control. Nothing unusual. Then we go into some of the buttons or auxiliary buttons below the climate control, and that is shutting off your traction control, lane departure warning, park assist, emergency, trailer towing, hill descent, and a light in the bed. When you're looking at the heated seats on both sides, there are 2 different types of buttons. One that just heats the back at 3-stage heating, and the other one does the top and the bottom. So it's just pressing the button. Pretty simple. And then this is just the back if that's what you need. A little bit of storage there. Down below you have 2 USB connections, and then a card for your navigation, and of course a regular 12-volt outlet. Further back, you've got your 2 cup holders, your standard gear shift lever with the Prindle, as I lovingly call it. When you're looking at wireless charging, if you're going to offer it to your customers, make sure the average phone fits in there, because it doesn't. And this is not the biggest phone on the market. There are other phones. Keep that in mind, that your phone fits on the wireless charger, or you bought it and you can't use it. There is real stitching on this, and leather that's very, very nice, by the way. Inside, we've got a bunch of my junk that I've been hiding in here, and inside the glove box you got a bunch of the junk I've been hiding in here, as well as another charging port. One last feature that's an upgrade for 2021 is this beautiful AT4 embroidery in the leather seats and upgraded leather seating, and this really cool brown stitching mixed with the black. Very pretty. And for features, this vehicle earns a 6. There are some upgrades to the design of the 2021 Canyon, starting with this dark chrome grille. It is bigger, it is larger. I love these huge logos, just to remind you or anyone that you're pulling up behind what you're driving. However, this is really nicely designed, very modern, very clean, and still extremely muscular. New for 2021 are these projector headlights with LED daytime running lights, and of course these really bright driving lights, which I found to be very helpful at night, because we did a little bit of off-roading, a little bit of beach driving as well. Not necessarily new for 2021. I really like the bulge on the hood, so it looks like it's got a big, muscular, meaty engine. It gives it the impression that this is a half-ton pickup truck, but it isn't, and that's one of the things that makes the AT4 a really good-looking truck. Another feature that's new is these 2 red recovery hooks in the front. They look pretty cool, and in this case, it matches pretty nicely with the paint color. Our test vehicle is riding on 17-inch wheels with 31-inch tires. These knobby tires are great for off-roading. They do give a little bit of noise in the cabin while you're driving, and we talked about that in handling, but I just wanted to remind you, it's something you need to test drive before you decide which package you want. And these are some of the factors you need to consider. If you're off-roading a lot, this would be a blast to have. On the side, you'll see that AT4 logo reminding you and everyone else what you're driving. I think it's really nicely designed. It's modern, it's not too big, and it makes a nice statement. The mirrors are a touch small, especially if you're towing a trailer. You need to keep that in mind. You may have to get an extension. One of the things this mirror does have a convex on the corner, which is good for seeing. And those are just some of the features that you have to look at when you're thinking about what am I doing with this truck, and that's part of the design. There's no running boards on this vehicle. You can buy them aftermarket, and I'm sure that dealer has an add-on that you can purchase through accessories. Some of the things you need to think about, I do like these black handles. They're polished, they're nice, they're shiny, and they make a really nice, clean, modern, more elevated experience than you would find in some of the competition. Another improvement for 2021 is the built-in step into the bumper. Makes it easier to get into the bed of the truck, and that may be necessary. Really easy, just jump on top. Working your way across the back, you've got your LED taillights, your V6 logo GMC end, reminding you that you're driving a Canyon. Really nice covered plastic, very durable, which is necessary. And of course, those steps, one on each side. The connections for the towing are right here. And of course, you got your hooks down below if needed. Now, one thing I would like to see on this truck is, first off, very slow going down in the bed, but this bed came without a liner, without some sort of spray coating. And yes, this red looks fabulous, but it's already gotten scratched up from other journalists that have driven it before myself. And that just tells me when you get a vehicle that has a painted bed, this is something that needs to be addressed. Now, there are no tie downs really per se compared to the competition. You look at Tacoma and so forth, there was just 4 basic tie downs. There needs to be more tie downs and more ability to add more accessories to this. I know that you can buy them, but I want you to know the way this vehicle came is pretty loaded, so it's something you need to consider. When it comes to design, this Canyon AT4 earns a 7. When you're talking about build quality for the Canyon, it's excellent, both inside and out. Inside you'll find new leather materials, real stitching, and they've done a nice job fitting everything together. There are a few minor things we talked about in tech and in features that could be upgraded, but when you're looking at the vehicle overall, its actual build quality, how it is put together, they did an excellent job. There is a 3-year 36,000-mile warranty and a 5-year 60,000-mile powertrain. This is a very reliable powertrain, and when you're looking at quality, it earns a 9. Coming around to the back, when you open up this bed, you've got 41.3 cubic feet of storage, which is a little bit less than some of the competitors, but you know, this is a standard size bed that you're gonna find. When you're looking at value for this vehicle, it starts at about $26,800 and goes all the way up into that $36,000 range. Again, there's different engines. This is an AT4. Do you want the off-road package? Our test vehicle came in at $43,000. It was $995 for that tech package, which includes that awesome Bose audio system, and then $395 additional for the safety features, which I think should be standard. There's no blind spot detection, but over when you're looking at the value of this vehicle compared to other vehicles in this category, the Canyon earned an 8. The mid-size truck market has become so competitive that when you're looking at the Honda Ridgeline, which is not really an off-road truck, but it does have a lot of car-like features. You've got the Tacoma, the Frontier, and the Ranger, and other vehicles in the category, including its direct competitor, the Colorado. This vehicle does a lot. It has great towing capacity, especially with the diesel engine option, which not every single competitor offers. And that's what makes this Canyon an excellent choice to consider. You should test drive all the vehicles in the category before you make a final decision. All the competitors are listed down below and links to those reviews so that you can compare the 10 different categories against the 10 different categories that are in the Canyon. One of the other things to consider is your insurance costs, so make sure to check that out before you make your final decision. This 2021 GMC Canyon AT4 has a total score of 83. If you got value from this video, make sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. Also put your comments down below. I know there's a lot more stuff that I didn't cover, but we would be here for 2 hours. So I want you to put your questions in the comments below. I will give you answers, and it also opens up the community for other owners and maybe people that did or didn't buy the vehicle to comment, and that's how we start the conversation to help you make a better choice. Don't forget to check out our website for more opinions at carcoachreports.com. We have tons of contributors, and if you like cars, you'll love our podcast, Total Car Score, and it's available on all platforms. And if you're still looking at more information, what's coming out, what's new for GMC and all the different brands, you can find that on my social media, all platforms at Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.